TEP production. Giving out instruction. I just keep it intact, this is a fact, right and exact, I won't step back. Admiration is the feeling that inspires your brain to make you gain self-knowledge, not go insane. I'm Satan's antagonist, acknowledge what I speak. I cannot be duplicated cause I'm born unique. Brother Kareem told me if I want it, I gotta take it. Kareem told me if we need it, we gotta make it. Nasir just said stand up and be a man. You're planning to fail if you fail to plan. Keep your circle tight, know your plight, fight with all your might. Study hard, stay in shape and everything will be alright.
This beat is slapping, before I make it happen I just wanna ask, may I rise higher with fire, made brighter than May, sharp lines, may climb and rhyme and may timing like sirens, may my thoughts may spray as I sway, may play with the day, may each bar may spark from the dark, may making the arc, may I shift, may gifted with riffs, may lifted no myth, may move clean, smooth in between, may carving out the scene, may words guide my glide as the tide, may ride on the inside, may minds free, may deep in the key, may shape in the sea, may I shine, may prime in my rhyme, may throw in the sign, may break norms, may storms in the red form, may lightning is born.
Let's go.
Get your copy of Fire. It's definitely a must-read. If you enjoy hood books, this one is it. Just like the title of the book, it's officially Fire. Get it on Amazon, paperback or Kindle.
I don't know how I got here. I just know I'm never going back. Just when I thought things were already crazy, it gets worse.
I'm back.
Quan?
Sapphire struggles to deal with her husband's alleged betrayal and coming to terms with Quan being alive after thinking he was deceased. Devante tries to keep a level head while dealing with family issues and unexpected disloyalty. Memories of Dre enters Devante's life in a way that he would have never imagined.
Fire Part 2, the finale.
Peace. This is the Enemy's Public, and I am Bro.Nasir. This evening, I want to discuss the Karmelo Anthony case, something that's ongoing since April 2nd of last year, April 2nd, 2025, at a Frisco Independent School District track meet at Kai Kendall Stadium. 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, a Memorial High School student, and 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony from Centennial High School were in a dispute inside the Memorial High School tent. Witnesses say Metcalf told Anthony to leave, and a back and forth ensued. Anthony allegedly pulled a knife from his backpack and stabbed Metcalf once in the chest before fleeing. And this is not the gist of the story. Metcalf ended up, perishing at the scene, yet they're not mentioning the fact that Metcalf and his twin brother, two much larger students from Memorial High School, behaved like they were owners of the tent. And seeing Karmelo under the tent when it started raining, seen him under the tent, and told him that he had to leave from under the tent, telling the young man that during inclement weather that he couldn't be under the tent. These young men should have been raised better. They should have been raised to mind their business and not think they can tell people what to do. Now, I've seen on videos, I've read stories where random white people will come up to us when we're walking through certain communities and neighborhoods, asking us where we're from, what are we doing, and where do we live, and then expect us to answer those questions. A random white person, they'll see you in an apartment building thinking you don't belong, and they'll ask you, do you live there? And then they'll ask you where you live, as if you're supposed to answer those questions. That's what they do. And this is the case with Austin Metcalf. He went under the tent and he told Karmelo Anthony that he had to leave from under the tent. And of course, a back and forth happened after Anthony decided that he didn't have to leave from under the tent at Metcalf's request. And Metcalf, a much larger twin brother, over 6 feet, over 200 pounds, Karmelo Anthony probably a good 140, 150, a lot shorter also. Peace to my brother D. Allen Warren. Salute to you. Thanks for joining me. And tried to bully the brother, tried to bully him, telling him he had to leave. And Karmelo said, make me move. And then, according to witnesses, they said that Metcalf put his hands on Karmelo Anthony. And Karmelo Anthony pulled something out of his book bag and stabbed him. Not saying that, it's good for the young man. But what I'm saying is, mind your business. Stop thinking you can tell people what to do and where they can be. All because he's a lot smaller than you. And he's not one of your people, thinking that he don't belong. That has to stop. People have to stop walking up to us thinking they could tell us what to do and where we can be. And we have to answer their questions like we have to have traveling papers, proving where we're going and where we belong as if we're slaves. We don't have to do that. We don't have to answer anybody's question. We don't even have to answer the police questions if we don't want to. If they can't tell us a crime that we're about to commit, a crime that we're in the act of committing, or a crime that we have committed, we don't have to answer any of their questions. They can ask questions all they want, but we can say we're not answering any of their questions. Now, the police arrested Karmelo Anthony almost immediately. He told officers he was protecting himself after Metcalf allegedly put his hands on him. Anthony admitted to stabbing but claimed self-defense. And it was self-defense. I see white people starting fights all the time with our people. And as soon as we put hands on them and we're getting the best of them, they pull out a firearm and shoot us. That's what they do. In a stand your ground state, this occurs frequently. I've seen incidents where a man walked up to a woman who had a husband, who had children, up to her car, pointing and screaming at her in her face, being very disrespectful. And then as soon as her husband came outside, he was unarmed, pushed the man down away from his wife. And what did the coward do? He immediately pulled a gun out and shot the brother dead. This has to stop. People thinking they can tell us what to do. Now, again, Karmelo Anthony admitted to the stabbing, but he claimed self-defense. Metcalf's father publicly mourned his loss, calling him the light of his life. And that story is very choppy and suspect. See, our people has a habit of being very self-righteous, sanctified and self-righteous. And we will drag our own people trying to be right in the eyes of our open and consistent enemy. I always say we're supposed to fight like they fight. War has been declared on us and our people, so there shouldn't be fair fights. We shouldn't be siding with other than our people under any circumstance, because if Austin Metcalf would have stabbed Karmelo Anthony and Karmelo Anthony lost his life, those same white people who are saying that Karmelo Anthony is a murderer would be defending Austin Metcalf right now. If the shoe was on the other foot, they'll be defending him like they defended Kyle Rittenhouse, who traveled from Illinois to Wisconsin with his mother, got a straw man purchase of a automatic long gun, and he ended up taking some people's life. A minor, 17 years old at the time, ended up going from state to state, getting a straw man purchase of a automatic long gun, ended up shooting two people, taking their lives. And the judge hindered the prosecution. The judge hindered the prosecution, wouldn't allow certain evidence to be presented, also dropped the gun charge. How are the judge going to handle a prosecution like that? Drop the gun charge on Kyle Rittenhouse. Now, on April 4th, 2025, police released an arrest report detailing the incident. Karmelo Anthony was held in Collin County Jail initially on a $1 million bond, later reduced to $250,000 due to no prior criminal record. June 2024 to the 29th, 2025, a Collin County grand jury indicted Karmelo Anthony on first-degree murder. First-degree murder. Like he planned to get into the altercation with the Metcalf brothers and resulting in the loss of life. That's not what that young man planned. So how could it be first degree? The indictment formalized the charge, with prosecutors arguing premeditation and Anthony's possession of a knife. This wouldn't be the case if it was the other way around. Would not be. August 2025, Collin County Judge John Roach issued a gag order to limit pretrial publicity, barring public statements from attorneys, witnesses, and law enforcement until after the trial. August to October 2025, the case drew national attention with online debates over racial tensions and self-defense claims. Prosecutors presented surveillance video and evidence of the knife. Defense argued Anthony was provoked by Metcalf's alleged aggression. If Metcalf would have never aggressed Karmelo Anthony, this would have never happened. He was the aggressor, the initial aggressor. Now, the trial was set to begin June 1st of this year, 2026, with potential for a life sentence if convicted. They're trying to give this young man, who was an athlete and model student, never been in any trouble. They're trying to give him life in prison for a incident that he didn't cause. Kyle Rittenhouse goes from state to state with an automatic weapon. And he's a free man today. And George Zimmerman, who was a grown man, accosted a 17-year-old walking through an apartment complex and ended up shooting him and taking his life. This is a grown man taking a 17-year-old life, and the state of Florida allowed it to happen. A man over twice Trayvon Martin's age took his life, even if Trayvon Martin was beating the hell out of George Zimmerman. He's supposed to wear that ass whooping. Why? Because you ran up on that young boy, and because he beat your ass, you shouldn't be able to pull a gun out and shoot him dead. Especially when dispatch told you not to follow that young man. That's should have been a charge itself. When he was talking about they always get away with it, he's walking through, he looks a certain way or whatever. Dispatch told him, when he said, I'm going to follow him, dispatch told him not to do it. The same thing with the young lady who killed the brother in Georgia. Dispatch told that young lady not to do it. said, don't follow him. She followed him anyway, cut him off, jumped out her car, telling him to get out the car, like she, just like the rest of them do all the time. Get out the car, pulling her gun out. So I tell our people, why would you be in an open carry state? Why would you be in a state that has the stand your ground and not arm yourself legally? Why would you do that? Some of these states don't even require a firearms license, and our people won't even go get firearms so they can protect themselves. What is it that's keeping our people from protecting themselves and their property? Everybody else protect themselves and their property besides us. It's cases where a white neighbor, were throwing things at children. And when the mother knocked on the door to ask her why she's doing it, she was shot dead through the door. Through the damn door. Why don't we see fit to protect ourselves? Protect yourself, not be the aggressor. Not be the aggressor, but being able, equipping yourself to protect yourself if need be. Now, the Anthony family, supported by the National Gay and Lesbian Task Force president, held a press conference addressing the public attacks on the case. Boy. The current status, the trial is scheduled for June 1st, 2026. The case remains high profile, with both sides contesting the facts and the legal definition of self-defense. It would not be a discussion of self-defense if it was Karmelo Anthony in his grave at the hands of Austin Metcalf. They'll be screaming self-defense. Not only are white people liars, like white people are also hypocrites. They're hypocrites also, and they love moving the goalpost. Love it. I want to say salute, greetings to my brother T. Wriggles. Peace, my brother. Thanks for joining me. We have to defend ourselves also. And as soon as we defend ourselves, they move the goalposts, telling us that we can't defend ourselves. They don't tell us that, but they suggest that we can't do it because when we defend ourselves, we go to jail for it. We go to prison for it. And they'll always say it's self-defense. They can start trouble with you and then end up pulling a weapon out, taking one of our lives, and then saying it's self-defense. Salute my brother T. Wriggles. Do a mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
Loud and clear.
Salute to you, Bro.Nasir.
Yes, sir.
I've been waiting for this topic to come back up.
Yes, sir.
Because now we have the Chud incident thing going on. So, I'm very interested to see what, how this whole case is going to really transpire. So great topic, great topic.
I'm trying to pull up the videos presentation that I have on this Just bear with me, brother. Chop it up while I do that real quick. But yeah, the trial is set for June 1st of this year, brother. And
June 1st, huh?
yes, sir, it's coming up soon.
Oh, that's just down the street.
This
Okay.
next week, brother. Next
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Next week.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how this is going to transpire. Like I said, you know, because some people, with this case here with Karmelo, and I've heard some talking points with the Chud incident.
Yes, sir.
And they're saying that, well, how come Carmelo's bail was at only 120 and Chud's at 1.2 million and da 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 da. I was like, and I thought about that. I was just like, yeah, well, yeah. Why is it that way? I'm not too sure on the law, but I do know this with Chud though, and I think one of the reasons why his bail was so high is because I guess in Chud's car there was a plane ticket that's going to go to Turkey and Rome. And, right when I hear Rome, I think Vatican. So if he was able to get bonded out, he will escape to Rome, just like the Catholic priests do. And now you're outside of U.S. jurisdiction.
To avoid extradition because they don't have the law there.
Right.
And Chud, I'm not that familiar with him, but I know like the basics about it. Chud is known for going around antagonizing brothers and sisters, calling them niggas, okay, and trying to solicit a response from them.
Yeah.
Doing all kinds of racial antics and using racial epithets towards our people. And he'll do it in places where, he he can carry at, his firearm at. See, Chud won't come to New York. Why? Because his gun license is no good there. He won't come to New Jersey because his gun license is no good there. He will have to use his hands. That's what he was doing. He would go and he would antagonize, calling people out their name, and it was bound to catch up to him. It was bound to catch up to him.
Yeah.
Because he'd have brought that anywhere on the East Coast where the gun laws is different. He would have got checked. His chin would have been checked a long time ago. See, they're natural cowards, brother. Natural cowards. And now he's crying for bail money because he, I don't know if he got out yet, but from my understanding, he's crying for bail money.
Yeah,
his bail is the way it is because he was the main aggressor. And at first, Karmelo Anthony's bail was $1 million, and it got reduced to $250,000. His bail was $1 million first. It wasn't always $250,000. It was $1 million first.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. I don't even remember if that was the case, but wow. Yeah, so there's no difference here.
There's really no difference. And the only difference is Chud is a grown-ass man and Karmelo Anthony is a 17-year-old boy who never been in trouble and who's not on videos with millions of views antagonizing people.
That part.
That's the difference. The difference is someone who's a lot bigger than Karmelo Anthony accosted him, who has a twin brother his size, somebody 6'3", 200 plus pounds, pushing up on a boy that's like 5'6", 5'7", 150 pounds.
Yeah.
Bullying him, trying to tell him that he can't stand under a tent while it's raining. Peace and salute to my brother, the God, Keith Lamont. Salute, brother. Thanks for joining. See, that's the problem with, again, I said it earlier, to those who are just joining us, you can look and you can see white people. You can see them. They're random white people will walk up to us and ask us where we're going, what we're doing, where we live, what's our name, and expect us to answer those questions. Like we had to have traveling papers, or we're slaves, and they work for damn what's the name of that bank that was funded on slavery that started with slavery? Wells Fargo. Like they work for Wells Fargo, and we had to
I didn't know
answer
that.
their damn questions. A random person, I've seen it. It happened to Ti. Ti got a $1 million+ home, and it happened where he lived at. This man paid over $1 million for his house, and you got some cracker questioning whether he belonged there or not. I always say they know who to push up with that foolishness with, because it would end bad with me, but it would end fast also with me. Today, can you dig it? Salute to you. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Now we're gonna get
Is
into
that did you just say Santana? That's Santana?
no today. Can we dig it? I don't know if that's Santana or not. Today, can you dig it? That's the family in the chat. I mean, the last time I built with the brother, I had a good time. He came through and we chopped it up and good build.
Oh yeah. That's Santana. Salute to you. Oh, and my bad. I keep doing this, brother Nasir. You know, I got to be more mindful. You know, when I join these builds, you know, because I'm focused so much on the topic and you, and I don't give shouts out to the chat. Shouts out to the chat. You know what I mean? Without y'all, there is no us. Okay.
Indeed, absolutely. And you know, we're gonna get into this. We're gonna share our screen and do a little narrative of what we're watching, brother.
Metcalf was killed. Anthony admits he stabbed Metcalf while both took cover under a team tent during a rain delay. But Anthony says he was acting in self-defense. NewsNation's Rich McHugh has been tracking this case. And Rich, you are one of the reporters who got to view this important piece of evidence.
Yeah, Nicole, they allowed me to view this video under strict conditions. I couldn't record anything. I couldn't take pictures. I could take notes, but that's about it. They would play it one time, and they wouldn't even rewind it or play it again, even the moment in question. So what I saw in the video was ultimately it's from the press box across the field on the 45-yard line. You can view a yellow tent across the field. That's where this incident happened.
Well, I guess Brother Nasir is going through the technical difficulty, or it might be me. But until he comes back, we'll give you some of the local news updates, the Wriggle style. Ding, 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 ding. Now, just a couple of days ago, we just lost one of the best icon rapper, you know, back in our high school days. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Rob Bass. passed away. It takes two to make a thing go right. Doom, 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 doom. Look, that made my teenage days a little bit more better. I look deeper into the song.
That's,
You know,
that's,
it takes two. Now,
that's crazy.
that was
They kicked me out.
yeah. Look, I was doing the Wriggles up to date news until you came back, and thank God that you back, brother Nasir.
They will do this while we talk about pertinent. My brother Tate today, can you dig it? I don't know if it's a brother or a sister, but come up. I don't know which one over there, if it's or if it's even both of them.
Because there's only one. Can you dig it? Do you know what I mean? That's the only one I know is Santana and Ariel. I mean, that's a power couple to me.
So I'm saying I don't know if it's both of them or the brother or the sister, but I'm saying come up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Oh yeah. Come on up, because Santana got that. Santana comes out. He got that heat. You know, make you think of something that you would never thought of, and it's like, oh, I didn't think of that. You know, so yeah.
We're gonna share the screen.
I'm telling you, they do not like us talking. They don't want us talking.
They don't want us talking, brother. Nope, they don't want us talking.
Anything, I couldn't take pictures. I could take notes, but that's about it. They would play it one time, and they wouldn't even rewind it or play it again, even the moment in question. So what I saw in the video was ultimately it's from the press box across the field on the 45-yard line. You can view a yellow tent across the field. That's where this incident happened. There's no sound on the video. And it's raining, and you can see about 30 to 40 people around the field. It's a track meet that morning, so they're preparing for this track meet. The incident in question happens at 9:44 a.m. It's really calm up until that point, and then chaos ensues, and you can't really make up anybody. You can't make out individuals. You can see people and colors and what they're wearing, but you can't make out identities. But again, at 9:44, chaos ensues. What I did not see was any obvious physical altercation leading up to the stabbing. Now, I went inside the stadium earlier this morning to try and give our viewers a better vantage point.
What they're probably doing,
where
brother,
this all happened.
What they're probably doing, brother, is selectively choosing footage. Because what he just said was he didn't see anything that would lead up to the stabbing. See, I peep and I listen to everything, and their motives are that it wasn't justified. That's what they're trying. They're trying to paint a narrative. Get every piece of camera footage of that timeline. If you're not doing that, you're being biased. Period. You're being biased.
Now, from oh, sorry.
Go ahead, my brother. You got it.
From the time of this case, when this happened, until now, okay, so the law is if I come with a fist and you come with a weapon, that other person's at fault. I don't know what if there was two guys, coming with the fist. I don't know. Are you allowed to have a weapon now? I don't know.
You can actually have a weapon. You can have a weapon based on the size difference. Based on the size difference, which was a big size difference. It was two of them too.
Yeah.
Them dudes is like my size.
Yeah. They weren't no pushover. They're linebackers. Linebackers.
So you can't expect that young man, he wouldn't be able to fight those dudes. I'm not saying that a child should be, you know, a child life should be taken in any shape, form, or fashion, but I'm saying at the same time, mind your business. Mind your business. Don't think that you can just come and tell us what we have to do or what we can be. You just can't do that, especially when you are known for being a big ass bully. And they probably got history together. I'm not going to say they don't, but that's, you know, it would be, you know, but what I'm doing, that's mere speculation. I said probably because dude pushed up on him and told him he had to leave from under the tent and told him what he would do if he didn't. Can't do that. Just can't do that to certain people. And if somebody is scared of you, they will hurt you. So the worst thing you can do is constantly bother somebody who's afraid of you. You're going to run up on them one time too many, and they're going to do something to you.
Yeah.
So you can't do that.
And you know, from this man talking about he's viewed the key security footage, so I guess he looked at not the actual incident, but I guess where the camera would show the incident, you know, because he showed those cameras in the press box.
What
Huh?
what my brother, what you just said was key. What makes key video footage key video footage?
Yeah.
What makes it that? Is it the narrative you're trying to paint, or if you're trying to get to the truth? What is it?
Yeah, because but that's it. You know, in order to know the truth about it, you would have to see the actual footage. And I know that you can't see the actual footage, right? That's already taken away. So you can't see that until the case, like I'm presuming.
And as the God Keith Lamont said in the chat, at the event, nobody had cell phone recording. At an event, at a track meet, nobody had cell phones. In today's, you know, people record everything, especially sports events. You know what I'm saying? You know, they had cell phone, nobody had a cell phone recording. Everywhere else, people had cell phones, but not there.
Yeah.
And usually when, especially when there's a confrontation, the first thing people do is pull out their phones.
Facts.
When there's a confrontation, it's probably video out there. But you know how the police do when they want to paint a narrative, especially if you're in a municipality that the people are racist. They don't care nothing about no truth. Just like I watched the movie based on Eric Garner. They changed the names, but I knew what the story is about. How they harassed the young man who recorded that. The police harassed that young man, arrested him and everything. All because he recorded that video of Eric Garner being choked out by Daniel Pantaleo. They don't care nothing about the truth. So and they wonder why we don't trust law enforcement.
Right.
Field. You can see where the press box cameras captured everything. We're on the 45-yard line here. This is where it ultimately happened. There's a tent right up here, the kind of the sports tent where everybody was huddled at 9:44. Whatever went down happened right here. Everybody kind of took off. Now, according to police reports, Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony We're here at this track meet. Austin Metcalf told Anthony he needed to move out from under their team's tent when Anthony grabbed his bag, reached inside, and told Austin, quote, "Touch me and see what happens." The police report states Metcalf grabbed Anthony to tell him to move. Anthony pulled.
Nobody says, touch me and see what I do, absent a threat. They think people are just plain stupid. Nobody says that absent a threat. He had to threaten him for him to say, touch me and see what happens. Nobody walks around and just look at somebody and say, touch me and see what happens. Austin Metcalf was out of place for saying anything to Karmelo Anthony. He was out of place. And this whole entire thing happened because of him. And the news is biased as hell.
Yeah, I really want to know how the defense team is going to, you know, lay this thing down, right? Because okay, so you have 2 against 1, and remember some of the talking points in the beginning, how some people were saying that Karmelo Anthony is a punk. He's a, you know, because he didn't want to, you know, take the 2 guys or the 1 guy on. And if anyone touches you, you know, you can, you know, that I would go with the defense. I would say, look, my defendant, he said don't touch, and then he got touched. And then he was feared for his life. He felt danger. He felt that I'm alone, right? I've got
the police do it all the time, bro. Shoot unarmed people and say they fear for their life.
Yeah, exactly.
They do it all the damn time. A Newark police officer got sentenced to like damn near 30 years, like last year. He was jumping out the patrol car about 2 or 3 times, jumping out the patrol car, chasing the car that was fleeing from them. He ended up shooting one and shooting 1 guy. He shot 2. 1 died. But he jumped out the patrol car chasing the car. But when he went to court, he said he feared for his life. How you fear for your life when you were the pursuer? People that fear for their life run from danger. They don't run to it.
Right.
He said he feared for his life. Newark didn't buy it and sent his ass to prison. State of New Jersey didn't buy it. Sent them to prison.
And Carmelo's 5'8"?
Carmelo's like 5'8". This dude like 6'3".
Yeah, 5'8", and Carmelo's only 100 and I think like 75. Yeah. We're not talking about a big guy at all. Carmelo's not that big. I'm not defending Karmelo, or you know, I'm trying to stay non-biased.
I'm defending him.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's good that the young man lost his life, but I'm defending Karmelo Anthony.
You know, and I'm looking at it, you know, as for me, like this kind of matches my kind of height and weight in high school, you know, 5'8", 5'7", 5'8", 5'9" on a good day.
I can't remember being that damn short, T. Wiggles.
Hey, look, there you go, brother.
I can't even remember being 5'8", bro. I've been over 6 feet for 40 damn years, bro.
Look, I think I was 5'7.5", and then grew an inch when I was 22. I was proud. You know,
I don't even remember being that short, bro.
It's not really short, really, brother Nasir. You know what I mean? Because short would be like, you know, like not.
I mean, when I say that short, I don't mean short, but that short.
Yeah, but you saying short though, brother.
All right, brother. All right.
Yeah, but you know, I can tell you right now.
I can't remember being that height then, brother. Okay, I get, brother.
Yeah, because that height means that you ain't short.
Yeah, okay, it's not short, brother. Okay, it's not short. So shit, you keep saying short though, bro.
Yeah, because
Pulled out a knife,
you know.
stabbed Metcalf once in the chest
Go ahead,
and
brother.
ran. Metcalf died in his twin brother's arms.
Go ahead, my brother. So if he died in the twin brother's arm, that means his brother was there too.
Facts.
There's two of them, two big
Yeah,
ass
'cause
white boys towering over him.
Yeah. Protecting. I mean, it's just natural, you know. And you know, I would be if I was in Metcalf position. I think anyone at 5'8", you know, at that height, and you've got 2 6'3" towers, you know,
And
football players here.
well over 200 pounds.
Yeah, football players here.
I'm
6'3",
almost 6'4", 6'3" and some change, almost 6'4", and I'm 245 pounds. These dudes was bigger than me.
Wow, yeah.
They're in weight, they're bigger than me. They're like 270, something like that. Them boys is big.
I don't think they that big. They was that heavy.
Bro, look it up. Look up how big them boys was.
Let's look it up.
Was big.
Arms. And now, as of last week, Karmelo Anthony indicted for first-degree murder. Nicole?
So, Rich, how might this affect court?
Well, it's a good question. Court date has not yet been set. His first appearance is set, I believe, for July 17th. This video, from what I saw, the question I have is, will they be able to enhance it and to view it, to zoom in? Because what I saw was happen very quickly, and there was.
If they say they can't, they're lying, because the police got the best technology, or they can just refer to the state police or to the FBI, and they can zoom that shit in. It could be nice and clear. They say they can't, they're lying. They're not interested.
Well, they said that. sorry, Bro.Nasir. It said 6 foot, 220. That's still that's we're not talking big as in height, but they thick now. That 220, you know, that's thick now.
They're big. They're big.
Yeah.
A lot bigger than Karmelo Anthony. And just imagine, those boys is like what? They were 17 at the time, not finished growing. You understand me?
Yeah.
They're not finished growing.
Yeah, I got you. Let me look up Karmelo. I should have just.
There was no obvious altercation just before, so it could be a case where both sides will see what they want to see. But the question remains: how much can they kind of alter or zoom in on this video, Nicole?
All right, Rich McHugh live for us there as this case continues to unfold. Rich, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone.
We're gonna go to the next video. Staying consistent with the topic, though.
And Karmelo's height and weight was 5'11", 175.
The controversy today in this case is that this young man, he's also 17.
I think that's a lie, brother. Karmelo was not 5'11". He's not 5'11". They're trying to make that boy bigger than he is, so that size different won't be, well, you know, to alter the narrative.
Yeah. I give him 5.
Came out, they said what his height was, and what they're trying to do is change the narrative. Because
because you know in football too,
white people do lie, bro.
Yeah, most definitely. Because and also, you know, if these were football stats, right? If all of that was from football, we always like to add a little bit more. Like I know I was 5'7", but I put 5'10". You know what I mean? Like you know, we added a little bit more just to make it. You know, that's what we used to do back in the day. So yeah, I'll give him anywhere from 5'9". 175. Yeah, you're a skinny little thing.
Yeah, he's a little guy. Dude towering over him. And not only that, it was two of them. and it was much bigger. I weighed the boy like what, 60 pounds, bro? Come on now.
Has been released after admitting to stabbing Austin Metcalf in the heart at a track meet. They were both there as spectators, both boys in high school, their whole lives in front of them. He is admitting that he stabbed Austin Metcalf in the heart with a knife. He alleges it's because Austin Metcalf laid hands.
See the narrative they're using. He did not say, he said he admitted to stabbing him. He didn't mention a weapon. He just admitted to doing it. But they keep pushing the narrative. From my understanding, it wasn't even a knife. They said it was, somebody said there was one of those that sharpens the cleats. It was that. But they keep saying knife. I'm waiting for the trial so they can present the weapon.
Right. I remember that. And the whatever Karmelo was using, it wasn't even that long or any whatever they were saying. But this is where, the lies, all these lies been told. We need to see what the so-called weapon looks like.
You know what my acronym for news is, brother. Remember it. Never-ending white supremacy. That's what news is.
Mm-hmm.
Hands on him. He's not even claiming Austin Metcalf had a weapon or threatened to kill him, etc. And now Karmelo and
why can't we use the same reason that you all use? He said he didn't claim he had a weapon. No. What about that same reason you all used to murder our people? I was afraid for my life. The police got a belt full of weapons and they still use that same narrative. I was afraid for my life. They don't escalate according to the weapons that unarmed men use. If you get punched, if you punch a cop in the face and you knock him down, the cop's not going to get up and fight you. He's going to escalate it, and more than likely to deadly force. He's going to shoot up at your ass. He's not going to tase you, but I seen them tase white boys who stabbed them in the neck. I covered it. White boy stabbed a cop in the neck and ran. The cop had his gun, running behind him saying, "Stop, stop, stop." Put his gun away and pulled out his taser. Because he didn't want to kill him. We get killed when we cooperate.
Wow.
We can cooperate and still get killed. You remember the white woman last year? The brother changing his tire. He was with his little brother. He changing his tire in the racist ass, manly looking white woman cop pulled her gun out on him and then was tasing him several times. For nothing, bro. They won't just quit because they don't like the job. They say they're going to do something so terrible to somebody before they leave. I don't want to quit. I want to get fired because I did some bullshit. That's their sentiment when they want to leave the job, when they don't like the job. I'm going to do something so terrible and it's going to draw national attention. It's going to show how I feel about the people I'm charged with serving. Supposedly, anyway.
Anthony has been released on bail. He was released from jail on Monday after posting a reduced $250,000 bond. He will remain on house arrest until his trial. A judge in Collin County slashed his $1 million bond originally and said he may await trial at home with an ankle monitor in 24.
And then she got death threats because she reduced his bail. And the judge looked like us. And she was receiving death threats.
4-hour supervision from his parents or some other adult designee. And the family had set up a Give, Send, Go account, which has already raised over $415,000 so far. I'll just tell you what some seasoned lawyers are saying. For example, our pal Phil Holloway, he says, I see people held without bond for months or even.
You see how some of our people, T, is pocket watching Carmelo's families, what they're doing with the money, saying they're scamming, saying they're doing that. And they're not even making a big fuss about how some of these people can kill us and their people raise. And then the hypocrisy of white people too. I gotta call them out too, right along with the ignorant among my people. They say, oh, he shouldn't be able to fundraise. They complain about him fundraising and raising that money when a white woman was calling a little boy nigger in the park, a child nigger in the park, calling the monkey and nigger in the park, lost her job, and they raised over $1 million for her. Over $1 million. That's what they do. Trayvon Martin, killer, they raised money for him. Kyle Rittenhouse, they raised money for him. That's what they do. They close the ranks, something that we should be doing. We should support ours no matter what, like they do theirs. Just like they do theirs. But no, we just can't. We just don't got it in us to do that. We got to be critical of each other all the damn time. And we don't realize what it's costing us and what it has cost us. You fight people the way they fight you.
Even years for much less serious charges. And I've heard a lot.
You were saying, brother?
I just heard a new term. And shouts out to my man Maybach, and his lovely guest host, Peach. There's a phrase, Brother Nasir. It's called non-practicing white person. Okay. Now, this is very new to me. This is very new.
Explain that to me, brother.
Look. I'm trying to figure it out also, but the non-practicing white person is basically the one that wouldn't donate to Rittenhouse and the other names you mentioned.
I can get with that term, but they just don't rock with the racism.
Yeah,
white people are not racist.
That's facts.
They're a minority, but all white people are not racist. All white people don't rock with that bullshit other white people do.
Right.
But not enough to trust them. I just they wait to see. I gotta wait and see. Because people haven't proved themselves trustworthy as far as I'm concerned. But if you prove yourself to be trustworthy, then perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that. I mean, you know how many January 6th cases were held without bond, who did not murder anybody. But this guy, Delano, gets out on relatively low bond that somebody else is paying because he's already got this huge GoFundMe account or Go Give Send.
See how they pocket watch, but they don't pocket watch when their people get millions of dollars. And not only that, you got grown-ass men and women committing an insurrection, running up and destroying the property of the Capitol building.
Right.
Megyn Kelly is a goddamn hypocrite, bro. She's a hypocrite.
Yeah. I think her comparison.
They're running up on the Capitol building, breaking windows, busting through the barricades, and the police were opening the barricades for them to come up because the police shared their sentiment.
Yes.
Donald Trump steal. Stop the steal. He sent them there to stop the steal. And they ran up in the Capitol building. If there was us, brother, it would have been a massacre.
Most definitely. And let's add to the see I maybe makes Miss Kelly, comparison is kind of off, because January 6th, this was all kind of like, you can say this was premeditated. Like, they came there with a purpose, like you just said, destroying. That's like America right there. And you're going to destroy that? No, you shouldn't be out on no bond. There should be no bail for you.
They're in there still. They're going into congressmen and senators' office, stealing computers, spreading feces all over Nancy Pelosi's office, doing all kinds of stuff, bro. Acting like white folks. That's what they were doing.
Yeah, it's just and this is a theme here. I noticed this is a pattern. When some people don't get their way.
Yes.
This childlike, animalistic nature comes out.
Look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump is 80. He's 80. What? He's going to be 82, June 14th, something like that. I think he was born 45, something like that. 82, 83 years old. He behaves like he's about 7. And I'm being kind. That's where he behaves. He throws a tantrum like a child when he don't get his way, and he do. I believe the first thing Donald Trump said was a lie. His goo goo gaga was a goddamn lie. I guarantee you. And the very first thing he obtained, he probably stole. I believe he stole out his mother's purse. I guarantee you. He stole out his dad. He stole out his dad wallet and his mother's purse. I guarantee you.
Send Go account, and you tell me why that is, in your opinion.
Well, to be frank, I was surprised that bail was set at $1 million. For context, Dylan Roof's bail was set at $1 million for the gun charges, not for the murders he committed, not for the 9 murders in Charleston, South Carolina, but on the gun charges. So $1 million always sounded high to me. If Karmelo Anthony had a long track record, a long criminal record, then I think it would be different. I think his entire case is going to hinge on his claim that he was acting in self-defense. A jury will have to hear evidence to substantiate that claim, and they will decide whether or not there's any basis to that claim. I think, this is my personal opinion, this case has moved from a local case to a national case because of the racial dynamics at play. And it's
Karmelo is black and Austin was white.
Correct. And it's unfortunate that it seems as if many of the conservatives who typically say, let's wait to hear all the facts, let's get all the evidence, let's let the jury, of this person's peers make a decision, have rushed to judgment in terms of motives, in terms of what happened or didn't happen. And part of the reason that I've been hesitant to make certain comments on this case publicly, and why I'm holding my powder, is because I've seen time and time again the original narrative that gets set into the media, whether on the left, typically on the left, because this race-related crimes are sort of the province of the left. They have been. I think that's changing now. But I've seen hands up, don't shoot, go up in flames. I've seen sort of the original narrative, in other cases, go up in flames. We've even seen, even when it comes to George Floyd, people go from saying, we see the video, to now certain commentators, particularly on the right, saying, no, Derek Chauvin had nothing to do with George Floyd's death. It was the overdose. So
exactly, they're saying that he overdosed, and the fact that the medical examiner said that he died of asphyxiation, but they're going to say other than what the medical examiner said. Reporters, none of them are medical examiners. None of them are capable of doing autopsies to determine the cause of death. They said George Floyd died of asphyxiation. That means that he was deprived of life, deprived of breathing with a knee on his damn neck? And that's the question. So you're telling me if Derek Chauvin never put his knee on George Floyd's neck, he would have died anyway? That's a damn lie.
That's a lie. That's a
It's
lie.
a lie. And they know that's a lie. You know what? It won't stop them from lying, though.
Most definitely, and I really appreciate what this brother just said. I share the same views. I need to know all the evidence first. Once I can get all the evidence and all the facts together, okay, so now I can formulate my opinion or conclusion on the matter. So see, when you know you have liars running around, right? So everyone, right, if you're in this animalistic first, what's another word I can use? I wouldn't say you can say animalistic, but it's almost like childlike. If you're already commenting, right, on the issue, but we don't have all the facts, how can you come to a conclusion?
They always come to
life.
a conclusion. They always come to the conclusion, and they put out narratives, bro. The news is the lamestream news is so wicked, bro.
Very much so. Very much so. Very, very wicked. And you know, we all know why they're wicked when you have only what is it? Of all of the news all around the US is only 6 people that run the whole joint. Do you know what I'm saying? And that everyone's getting
everything we listen to, brother, everything we read, everything we hear.
Right.
In the media, brother. Just a little over a handful of people owns all of it. So, you know, and they're not going to they say they fair and balanced, but they're not.
No,
they're not, because they never report the news unbiased. Never. We out of all people should know, because the way we're portrayed.
Yeah.
Nothing like they portray us, bro.
You know, this just gave me an idea. I'm gonna probably start my own newspaper, magazine, news, Wriggles, Newsline. Where we only bring.
I have to have a column, brother. If you do,
you know, I mean, yeah. Look, and then we'll have our, instead of 60 minutes, we only do 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just 30 minutes of the truth. The truth don't take that. It don't take that long to spit.
Our news would probably will cover the topic of the day, because you know how the news do it. They do briefing. It's always every news program, they do news briefs, and you know, you look at it, they're responsible for the attention span of the people, because they never really get into the subject. It's always briefing.
Yeah, and then see,
never.
And see, with the Wriggles Newsline, we're gonna cover the bad and the good. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to give shouts out to Sister Shirley. Yeah, she's in the projects, and she helped feed all these people and blah blah blah. And then we'll talk about, okay, so now look, we got Chud and this Mellow thing. You like to have a really good balance and only bring the truth to it. And the truth would be, like this brother would say right here. He said that, no, I'm going to hold on to my personal thoughts and opinions until we get the facts.
Yeah, see, that's the thing with news today. Back when I was growing up, the news, they just reported the news. And they wasn't allowed to give their personal opinions. This lady, how many times she gave her personal opinion? Because the news today are narratives. They're not really news, they're narratives. Yeah. Multi-ethnic destruction in America. That's the media. And Megyn Kelly's a hypocrite. And if you look at the Heritage Foundation, look them up, brother. We got to do a stream about the Heritage organization. Look them up, brother, and see what they're about. They're not friends of ours.
Look them up right now.
They got this brother on here, probably expecting him to share their sentiment and and speak their narrative. But he, for the most part, as far as what I'm hearing now, it seems like that he's using his own mind. Put it that way. He's using his own mind.
My thing is the Heritage Foundation. The $1 million bond sounded, as I said, sounded high to me. I'm not surprised it was lowered.
Go ahead, my brother.
Oh, he said the Heritage Foundation is a prominent right-wing American think tank based in Washington, founded in 1973. It formulates public policies based on principles and free enterprise, limited government, individual freedom, traditional values, and strong national defense. Okay, all right. So basically,
they're not telling. Basically, they're MAGA. Basically,
look. They're basically liars. Okay. I got
they're
it.
lying about what they're about. They always lie about what they're about.
Yeah, fact. It sounds good. It sounds real good.
Look at some of the things the Heritage Foundation is behind and what they support. You know what I'm saying, and what they fund. I'm telling you, brother, you follow the money, bro. Then you know about the organizations and the foundations when you follow the money, things that they fund. Forget that narrative that they put out. Follow their money, where they put their money at. That's their interest. Wherever they put their money at, that's their interest. That's what they're interested in. Where they put their money at.
Yeah.
The give, send, go stuff, I've seen how that's been sort of painted. Ultimately, Karmelo Anthony is going to face a jury of his peers, and if what he did sound, if the sort of original
Karmelo Anthony is not going to face a jury of his peers.
That's what I was going to say. Something.
There's no way in hell they're not going to have 18-year-olds on a damn jury.
Facts.
That would be his peers, because the boy was only 18 years old. That's a lie.
That's a lie.
Reports hold true that it was just a minor.
And for the most part, brother, we seldom see a jury of somebody's peers. Seldom. When you see some young people on trial for whatever they did, it's always somebody much older than them that's judging them. Not the judge, but it's some other people that's judging him. That's a lot older than him. Judging that young person, whether they black or white. It's never you see people of their peers. And not only that, your peers is not only somebody your age. Your peers should be from your culture also. Not just somebody your age, because you can pick somebody's age from anywhere that can be oblivious to how you grew up in your struggle.
Yeah.
Can be oblivious to everything about you. Your peers is somebody that, like, you went to school with. That's your peer. You can't call a stranger your damn peer.
No, you can't. You can't. I mean, yeah.
At least be in your not necessarily your neighborhood, but at least in the community you live in. Well, you can't call. I don't think somebody just because somebody's your age just your peer. No, your peer have to have something in common with you. That's what make the person your peer.
That's true. That's true. You guys at least should listen to the same type of music.
Exactly. You can't have a Bon Jovi listener with a Kendrick Lamar listener. No,
right.
They don't mix.
It doesn't mix. Do you know what, Brother
Nasir?
Nasir?
Altercation, and he pulled out.
Go ahead, brother.
You know what, Brother Nasir? Look. To solve the jury problem, right? I did look. I just had the idea. The jury shouldn't be the people of your peers the people in your community. The jury need to be psychics, people that are psychics, intuitives, and all of that, where they looking at it, they're getting the facts, and then they're getting whatever spiritual gift that they're using, and they should be able to pass judgment, not a regular person who has probably not done the crime like he's judging, but almost done the same loss. Like if a person robbed a bank and then the jury guy is sitting there, judging this guy that robbed the bank, but the jury member, like he used to steal candy out the store. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I think if we could revamp, this is just my idea to solve the jury problem, because some jury members don't have it all upstairs at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the psychic thing. I don't even know if I believe in that. You know what I'm saying? But all I know is when you look at a jury in the courtroom and they say that's a jury of somebody's peers, and you look at the people in the jury box,
yeah,
for the most part, it's never somebody of their peers. Salute to the brother Big Dog Philly OJ. Thanks for joining us. And it's different, and it's always different. I mean, I can understand the different ethnicities in a jury, but you have now it's going to be slanted if you have all white jury, and you have the 11 white people, and then you have a Hispanic that trying to be white. The Hispanic that trying to be white gonna try to outwhite the white because they want to prove themselves as white, and they're gonna hang the person. If you have I've seen clear-cut cases of somebody doing a crime and they got away with it because of who they had as a juror. Now, Amber Geiger, that's a case. That's a clear-cut case of this woman walking into that man's apartment and shooting him. She's a cop. And she tried to use the narrative that she thought she was in her apartment. You knew it wasn't in your apartment when you didn't see your couch. You didn't see your dining room set. You knew it wasn't your house. That man sitting, eating ice cream, watching football, get shot in his own apartment. And I listened to a juror talk, and she said she couldn't send Amber Geiger to prison for 25 years. She couldn't do it because she already got to deal with what she did. That was her reason. And that female juror was one of us. That whole case was rigged. You got the bailiff brushing her hair, bro, while she in court. The bailiff was brushing Amber Geiger's hair while she was sat there crying. The bailiff brushed her hair. The judge came off her bench, gave her a hug and a Bible. When a judge is supposed to be harsh to a murderer, a convicted murderer, a judge is supposed to be harsh to them, supposed to speak harsh to them. And we have to be real mindful of who we support also. We can't support everybody. Because after all that support we gave to Botham Jean's family, they turned their back on us. Botham's brother ran into the arms of his brother killer. How could you do that? That is such betrayal. This woman killed your brother and you asking her for a hug? And then the parents, taking the payoff. I can understand being compensated for your loss, but how they did it, how they're so forgiving to people who haven't even acknowledged their wrongdoing, but you forgive because their narrative is we were taught to forgive because that's what Jesus would do.
Yes, yeah, that's to turn the other
Turn
cheek.
the other cheek.
Got to be
And
crazy.
pray for those who use you and all this other foolishness
Oh.
that's in that damn poison book.
Man, talk to him.
That's why we behave like that. That's why we behave like that. And we need to change. We need to fight again. I'm gonna keep stressing it. When you're dealing with a people who don't do things in equality, you go accordingly. You just go accordingly. If you're fighting somebody and that person fouled you, the only way you're going to let them know that fouling's not going to be tolerated is to foul their ass right back. The Joker rabbit punched you, you rabbit punch his ass back. Then he'll know no hit in the back of the head. That's it. You want to fight.
Knife and stabbed all the time.
He's going to. That's my prediction as a lawyer, and we take on legal cases all the time on this show. Given my own past as a 10-year practicing attorney at a very high level, I have no doubt that this kid is in a lot of trouble right now and is more likely than not going to go to prison probably for the rest of his life, because we went through the legal standard with our legal panel just the other day.
Because that's what your people do, Megan Kelly. If again, brother, and I'm gonna ask you what you think about it, T. Wriggles, and I'm gonna ask the listening audience: if Austin Metcalf stabbed Karmelo Anthony and Karmelo Anthony lost his life, would they be saying? Would white people be saying it was self-defense? Or would they be sharing the same sentiment they have now? All you got to do is history.
Yeah. I would say self-defense. They will scream self-defense. Just
exactly.
Due to the like you said, the historic and the nature.
The racial component, bro. The racial component. They fucking racist, man.
Right? Where like and we're not talking about the white people that are racist. We're not talking about them. We're talking about the ones that are. You know what I mean? The ones that own the news, the media, the this and the that and the this and the that, right? And then there are some that, hey, listen, it is what it is. Just like we got some ignorant brothers, you got some racist white people just running amok.
Megan Kelly would be saying it's self-defense. That's what I'm talking about.
Self-defense.
No, because I've seen several videos where white people were saying that Karmelo defended himself. Several videos of them saying, no, that young man defended himself. But then you got a slew of people like Megan Kelly and others. They are saying that the young brother is guilty of murder. And they don't even know. She's saying with a knife and all this other stuff, and she don't even know she haven't even seen the weapon. And some people claim they seen the weapon, and they're lying. They're lying, straight up lying. They're not going to show a reporter the goddamn weapon. They're not. The first time a reporter going to see that weapon is during the trial. Because it's evidence. You can't show. Only people get to see the evidence is the prosecution and the defense. That's it. Not no reporter.
Now let me ask you a question, Right back to you, Brother Nasir. And the chat. Okay? The chat, we love you. Now, hypothetically, if Karmelo is guilty of first-degree murder,
If he's convicted,
convicted, okay,
not necessarily guilty, but you can be not guilty and convicted.
right? Should Karmelo get a life sentence?
I don't think the brother. I'm gonna answer it first. I don't think the brother is guilty of murder. He's not guilty of murder. He's not. And it's damn sure wasn't premeditated first degree murder. That's what they charged him. Well, they charged him with planning to do that first degree.
Right.
Premeditated.
Right.
He thought about it. That's
Right.
a lie, bro. That's a lie.
Yeah, he didn't do none of that. He didn't do none of that. It was look, man, I'm about to get jumped by two people. And he said, man, I'm just pull this thing out. I don't think he had the intent to kill at all.
No, I don't. I don't even think that,
it just so happened, I've been scared before in fights. I've been jumped before. It's scary. It's just kind of scary. It's very scary.
You're right, brother. I don't think it was an intentional killing. If anything, brother, it should be a second degree defense, and it shouldn't be murder. If anything, it should have been manslaughter. If there's no charge with anything, it should have been a second degree, charge, manslaughter.
Yeah.
But they said first degree murder, the highest form, the first degree, bro, premeditated.
Yeah. That's a lot. That's a lot. I don't think Karmelo deserves life at all.
I think he deserves the same amount of time as George Zimmerman and as Kyle Rittenhouse.
How much time did they get?
Look it up.
Let me see.
They didn't get no time, brother.
They didn't get no time? I say, look. He deserved the same amount of time they got for killing those people with that AR-15, and then George Zimmerman shooting that 17-year-old and getting away with it. He shot a child that he was twice the child age. There's no way he should have got away with that. If that child was beating his ass, he still shouldn't have been. He still shouldn't have gotten away with shooting him, because you was told to not approach that young boy. Don't approach him. Dispatch said, don't do that. Don't approach him. He did it anyway. And when he said the little boy was beating his ass, if you were 30-plus-year-old, you 36-year-old, you can't be the 17-year-old. You deserve to get your behind whooped. Hey, listen, and it's especially with that Trayvon Martin case. That Trayvon Martin case, I found it very odd, Brother Nasir. And we're not moving the topic here, but with Trayvon Martin, with all the evidence that came about, and the narrative that was spit to the people, it was so totally off. The Trayvon Martin, because we know that there's a push to get brothers to go animal. They want us to go animal, and so they can do something with us, right? And we didn't budge, but I find it very strange that they lied about the time of when Trayvon Martin went to the store. They said he went to the store during halftime of the basketball game. Nope. That was a lie. The game started at 8. He went to the store at 7 something. I found it very strange that the parents, the very same day or the next, can go on the TV and have a perfect dialogue with no crying, and then we find out, who the parents, the
dad was well in the Freemasonry and everything.
A Shriner.
And bro, not for nothing, bro. I mean, somebody take your son life, bro, and you just don't feel nothing. To me, bro, that don't sit right with me. somebody just some grown man kill your son, and you not tripping? Nah, bro.
Yeah,
And
look,
it's not that much decorum in the world, bro.
and look, and I don't fault anyone. Listen, I don't fault anyone. I saw a Time to Kill with Samuel L. Jackson. Best movie. It was
Carly
so
Ray, brother.
dynamic.
Carly
Huh?
Ray.
You get Carly Ray, right? Right. And when he went on the stand, he says, "Hell yeah, I shot him. He did that to my daughter. Period. Period." And that
Rodney
movie,
Hinton
I tell
Jr.
you,
Rodney Hinton Jr., brother, over there,
right?
Over there in Ohio, bro.
Ohio. Like, I don't fault anyone. I don't fault anyone because it's, to me, it's a very natural human behavior action. Do you understand? Like, it makes sense.
Nobody brings their child in the world for somebody else to take them out, especially like that, for nothing. Not doing nothing, minding their business, going home, and you accost them because you think he's the wrong color walking through the development. And that's the only reason why George Zimmerman approached him, because he was the wrong color walking through the development. And that's the same reason why Austin Metcalf approached Carmelo Anthony, because he was a little brother under the tent from a different high school. So they doing that rivalry bullshit, man.
Yeah.
That rivalry shit should be on the court or on the football field or on the track meet. That's where you should be a rival at.
Yeah.
That's where you should be a rival at. You see people punch each other in the face for 12 rounds, and then after the last bell ring, they hug each other. Why can't they do that? Bloody as hell, eye hanging out their damn head, but they'll hug each other after 12 rounds of fighting. Blood all over the ring and all over them. But what they do? The most bloodiest damn sport there is, besides the MMA stuff, got more sportsmanship.
Well, you know, Brother Nasir, I'm not a hypocrite, and I almost fell victim to this type of situation here when we're talking about that rivalry. All right, because some rivalries, man, like, football, it was
some rivalries.
You know what I mean? Like we were just we all watching. We just watching the All-Star game, right? And we're coming back next year. And then there was the other school, Taft High School. Shouts out to all them brothers over there. You know what I mean? I love them, especially my man Dayon, right? And then look, they was all over there, and one word was spoken, and it was about to go down. Look, I didn't care. I was with the functions. You know what I mean? Thank God we didn't. We all waited for the game to be played, and they won, but whatever. But I can feel this that rivalry thing, but that rivalry thing don't mean somebody gets stabbed in the goddamn heart.
Nah, do that on the court, wherever sport you play in. Like, we had rivals when I was in high school, Keyport, Plainfield, different, Franklin. Those were our rivalries in sports.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's been times there was brawls on the basketball court, but we come from a different time. Nobody was doing that back then. No shooting stuff. We weren't doing that. If anything, we'd bang out. That's it.
That's it.
It's been brawls brawls and stuff, but other than that, we didn't do all that. You know why? Because we're dealing with ultra sensitive young people, and that who are also violent and scared to fight. Yep, they're scared to fight too. Scared to fight, so they'll go in their waistband, pull something out because they're scared to fight.
Yeah. Like we had this conversation before. Where, hey man, like, the Friday line. Hey, you're gonna win some and you're gonna lose some, but you're gonna live to fight another day. Like and I've lost some fights. I was in the wrong too. I was in the wrong. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have did that. And what I'm saying, I got knocked out. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not afraid to tell you. I got knocked out. The Wriggles got knocked out, and I didn't know what the hell happened. But
did Chris Tucker stand over you, brother?
Yeah. He sure did. He was just like, T, wake up. I was just like, huh, where he at? Where'd he go? He was like, you just got knocked out. Like, oh, when? Right. So, what I mean? But then I've won some, and so, I'm not afraid to get my, my behind kicked. I got a lot of whoopings. So what you saying, you know what I mean, about the youth, yeah, like they're afraid to get your ass, sorry for my language, to get your behind beat. That's all. But you're gonna live.
That's what it basically is. But when you got two dudes who's that's that big, and they about to, and not only that, you are outnumbered. You don't know what's going to happen, and you are in a foreign territory. You don't know what's going to happen. It's like, walking through Bensonhurst at night. You know what I'm saying? In Brooklyn, Bensonhurst. It's been times that, it's been times, that don't cross the tracks narrative. That stuff is real, bro. You on the wrong side of the tracks, and you are chased all the way to your area because you're on the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah.
And that's what happened under this damn tent.
Yeah.
They picked on the little brother, trying to tell him that he didn't belong there. And then this incident happened, this tragedy happened. That it was preventable. Just mind your damn business. It was preventable.
Yeah, because what they say, it was raining.
You cannot respond.
It was raining.
Didn't they say it was raining? It was
Mhm.
raining. So everybody needed to stay dry, so, to show a little compassion, hey, brother, man, get underneath the tent.
Why can't he shelter in place like everybody else?
Yeah. He need to stay dry. Yeah, I can't wait till this case starts, man. Is it gonna be televised and all of that? The camera's gonna be
likely, there? Yeah, Court TV is gonna cover it. Trust me.
Oh, okay.
Court TV will be covering this.
Yeah, this is the one for
Respond to non-deadly force with deadly force. Period. Period. And it doesn't matter what the color.
Saying?
Yeah, this is the one for the books. This is the one for books. It's a great case study. This needs to, be on the shelf and used for examples for the future.
Yes, sir. We're gonna move on from Megyn Kelly, her lying, biased, racist ass.
She be lying. Well, you know what? She said she was an ex-lawyer, so she knows how to lie.
Yeah, because lawyers do lie.
The Frisco 18-year-old accused of stabbing and killing another student at a track meet was indicted today for first-degree murder. Karmelo Anthony is accused of killing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf in the stadium stands during the April meet. Anthony was 17 at the time and has been charged as an adult. Fox 4's Amelia Jones has more tonight. Amelia.
And that's another thing that's wild. Charging him as an adult is wild. First offense, never been in trouble, model student, athlete, he gets charged as an adult. That's wild. That's showing their racism and their biases. Because they really like to make our children adults when they're really children. They like to make them adults. They'll say man because they was calling what's the young brother in Ohio that got killed by the cop? What was the brother's name? The cop shot.
And then the father came back. I forgot his name.
They was calling him a man. When that boy was like 11 years old. Crazy.
Yeah, and no priors. Anthony
Steve,
had no
the
priors,
indictment
right?
is the natural next step.
What's that, brother?
No priors, right? No priors for Anthony, right?
He had absolutely no criminal record, no priors, no nothing. Model student, athlete, and he gets charged as an adult.
Yeah.
Salute to the comrade, Key Norfolk. Thanks for tapping in, my brother.
in any criminal case, and it paves the way for the case to move closer to a potential trial. The Collin County DA's office and Karmelo Anthony's defense attorney released video statements about the indictment. Both shared that they will be ready to present their case in court when the time comes. Tuesday, a Collin County grand jury indicted 18-year-old Karmelo Anthony for first-degree murder. He's accused of stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a Frisco ISD track meet earlier this year. Anthony was 17 at the time of the stabbing, and he's being tried as an adult. The Collin County District Attorney's Office released a rare video statement about the indictment.
When something like this happens at a school event, it shakes people to the core. But let's remember that the justice system works best when it moves with steadiness and principle.
Defense attorney also put out a video statement.
That young brother's name was Timmy Rice that the cops killed in Ohio. Timmy Rice. The police, he's playing with a toy gun, and dispatch said it was a toy, told the cops that it was a toy, and the cop jumped out the car and shot him dead on sight. He was only 12 years old, but they was calling him a man.
Statement reiterating Anthony's claims that he acted in self-defense.
We expect that when the full story is heard, the prosecution will not be able to rule out the reasonable doubt that Karmelo Anthony may have acted in self-defense.
The case has gained national attention and set off a social media firestorm. Much of what's swirling online is misinformation. The full story likely won't come out until a potential trial.
There's certainly a lot more to learn. The indictment really focuses on what we would call the elements of a crime.
Russell Wilson is a former Dallas County prosecutor who's not involved in this case. He says the misinformation could be one reason why both sides chose to record statements on such a procedural matter.
I just think it's a reflection of the serious nature of the case and the heightened public interest.
They're trying to rig this case. That's what they're trying to do. They're being very meticulous, and they're trying to rig this because first, charging him as an adult, and then saying that it's first-degree premeditated murder. This is all wild for somebody who never been in trouble. And you see the racial components, and you see the size difference of these boys against that little ass boy. Two of them. The boys are combined weight of damn near 500 pounds against this 170-pound boy.
Yeah. And I'll say
father,
this.
Jeff.
I say this, Brother Nasir, to you and everyone listening, that I'm extremely proud of everyone here for not, acting on emotions. I've seen cases where, let's just say some white people now, the injustice happens, as we can see January 6th and other cases, that they just go buck wild and they go animalistic, and then they start doing all kind of really strange things. And I'm extremely proud of all of us that, even though we are experiencing what Alabama has taught us in 1951, the genocide of brothers here in America, that we are still engaging in, and it's still happening. But we are such a very sound mind people that we haven't reacted animalistic. So I just want everyone to know that, I'm proud of all of us for being who we are.
Yeah, I am too. And that's not our nature to behave like them. And when they was at the Capitol building, they wasn't justified on what they were doing, but they justified themselves. When you have a person who will get knocked out, right, and be on the canvas, and then they want to count the man out that's standing, you got a problem. how you won when you on the canvas. That's Donald Trump. He sent those people there to stop the confirmation of Biden being sworn in as the president. He sent those people to do that, like that was going to go down like that. He sent those people there. Stop the steal. That's what he said.
Yeah, I found that very strange when he when Trump said something Proud Boys stand down. Like what do you mean stand down? Like
He said stand down and stand by. You know, when you're on the radio and you say stand by, that's like hold on for a minute. That's what stand by means. When you're on the radio, when you're speaking to somebody on the radio, you say stand by, that means hold on for a second to further instructions. That's what that means.
Right.
Wait for further instructions. That's what stand by means.
Right.
Wait for further instructions. Stand down and stand by. Don't move until I tell you to. That's what stand by means.
Yeah. and as we move forward,
Metcalf.
And as we move forward, you know, if we could, you know, somehow take that color race element out, and you know, I love Nitty Fuller, man. I love Nitty Fuller. We just got to replace this thing,
brother. It'll never happen. The racial component will never end, because we're dealing with a people who are absolutely disagreeable to live with in peace. That right there, that to be hopeful for that, it's the same as thinking somebody gonna fall out the sky. Never gonna happen. You're gonna go to your grave believing that and hoping for that. It would never happen.
Yeah, that
absolutely disagreeable to live with in peace, bro.
Hey, and look, and that I don't like using the word hope at all either, Bro.Nasir. I don't. I really don't. You know, the evidence proves what you're saying is correct, but then, you know, I have this.
Well, I'll say optimistic.
Yeah.
Optimistic.
I'm going to stay optimistic.
You'll be optimistic when your arms is folded, right over left, however they position you in your coffin. You would be going 6 feet under, being optimistic, and the world would be the same goddamn way.
The same damn way. But that's who said that? Keep hope alive.
The racial component would never. That's not going to change. It's not.
We'll see.
You know why? Because we won't see. We try to destroy. It's gonna take a mindset to be destroyed, and they're gonna have to actually destroy themselves in their mindset, because racism, white supremacy is a mindset that they have. We don't have that mindset. They have that mindset. We're not gonna be able to kill that mindset in them, to think that you're better than somebody because of the color of your skin. That's a mindset they have to kill in themselves. And if we think we can do it, we can talk them out of it, it's not going to happen. Why? Because they are the perceived winners. Perceived, not necessarily the winners, the perceived winners. Like they try to exercise perceived powers. It's all about their perception of themselves. And they think they don't have to do nothing to be this great people that they say they are. But every time you turn around, they cosplaying us. Every time you turn around, the whole entire world, bro.
I know, brother.
To be somebody that has so much disdain for, every time you turn around, they want to dress like us, sound like us, just be like us. The whole world.
Yeah, I don't even have any pushback for that. I just, man, you're right. I'm just,
sent us a statement about the indictment. It says, quote, "I am pleased that we are moving forward. With the first-degree murder indictment, it now goes into the court system. I fully believe that justice will be served for Austin Metcalf. I look forward to the forthcoming trial, but it will never bring back my son. It will be up to the court to set a date for the trial. In the meantime, the defense and prosecution will prepare their cases. The defense will see what information the state has gathered and will do their own investigation."
Certainly, there'll be a lot more things happening in between now and then. But certainly when the jury trial does come, the world will be watching.
Anthony is currently...
Brother need to pick that down fro. He got like a Dr. Cornell West thing going.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there. You know what I mean? Like, damn, shave that down a little bit.
Like his last name should be West.
All right, so Anthony was being held on $1 million bond, which was crazy. Today they reduced it to 250 grand, which is, still sizable, but he wound up getting out. All right, so Mark, first of all, the idea of race, I mean, you lived it with Zimmerman in a big way. There's so many people who believe that that's why Zimmerman wound up beating that case. But what do you see here? What are your questions? What will matter?
Oh, no, it's definitely a consideration. It always is, whether it's a sort of obvious what we're doing or the implicit one, because we all carry these implicit biases with us that perceive or impact how we perceive an event. Now, what's really it's going to come down to, and I disagree with the guy who said this is not a self-defense case yesterday, I think he said it. This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one until you look at the facts of the case and compare the two. You have to compare who was the initial aggressor. Was it an aggressive act for him to go up and say, get away from the tent? Did he do more than that? My understanding was maybe he touched him and put hands on him. Granted, that makes the decedent in this case maybe the initial aggressor. But you really still then have to look at whether or not Karmelo Anthony responded with appropriate force, he used a deadly weapon, and whether or not he was in imminent fear of great bodily injury. That's the standard in Texas and most every state to determine whether or not his actions, the way he perceived him, the way Karmelo Anthony perceived him when he took out that knife and stabbed him. The good part is if the decedent was the aggressor initially. The bad part for Karmelo, if in fact it's true that he sort of said, touch me and you'll see, because that's that aggression, that's that predisposition towards violence that doesn't have a place in a true self-defense case.
What's the most important question for you in this, Mark? And then I want the same from you, Professor, if you have one. Go ahead, Mark.
Sure. Who truly was the initial aggressor? How did this unfold such that if in fact he had a reason to believe in great bodily...
Again, nobody's going to say, touch me and see what happens, minus a threat. Karmelo have had to be threatened first. If you don't get from under this tent, such and such going to happen, I'm going to do whatever. And he probably said, touch me and see what happened. That's it. Touch me and see what happened. All you have to do is not touch him. That's it.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
being that he was a lot bigger than him, he said, well, I'm going to touch you.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you right now, Kumo, this dude in the middle, Cuomo, you're rotten to the core. How are you going to ask this guy the question and say, who do you think the aggressor was? We already know who the aggressor is, Cuomo, right? So why?
But he has to ask this question. He has to ask the question. But Cuomo, for the most part, was in support of Karmelo. He was defending Karmelo for the most part. At least on here. I don't know how he feel in private, but at least on here, he has been saying that it was a self-defense case. He started off saying that it is a self-defense case. And then the gentleman to the right was like, until we see the evidence, it is seen as a self-defense case. It's like the brother said on the other video, we have to see the evidence, and we'll never know until the trial starts. And this dude here talking about a knife, you don't know what it was. Nobody knows what the weapon was. When people say stab, they automatically think knife. Could have been a damn pencil, man. Pen. They don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody
yeah.
knows
I
where he
can't
stabbed
wait
him.
to this. I can't wait till this case starts. I can't wait till this case starts because we need to know the weapon and the reason why the reason why I have an issue with Cuomo also, you know, right now is his stance with the jabby wabby and how he was presenting things to the
Yeah, I
people.
mean, I got issues with him too, and his a few stances that he stand on.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying dude solid. No, he's not.
Right.
He is a part of the media. You know what I'm saying? Mainstream media.
Mainstream, right.
I only trust the ones who basically who's I don't trust no mainstream media, to tell the truth. None of them.
Yeah, man.
They can't be trusted, bro. Not no mainstream media.
Yeah. I don't care who you are. Yeah, I got an issue. Yeah.
You can be Fox, CNN, you know what I'm saying? Crying nigga network, CNN. I don't mess with none of them. Fox.
Yeah. I don't mess with none of them. None of them. I mean, I don't even like listening to them. You know, I go with the Dick Gregory thing. You know, every time they speak, they lie. They lie.
Absolutely. They're lying.
Injury was imminent. Was it reasonable? Was he pushed? Was he shoved? Was he hit? Because don't forget, it's of the moment, but you are allowed to respond to great deadly force with your own great deadly force, or at least your perception of great deadly force. So it's really going to be fact-based. I do think that race, it's going to be played out on social media. It also is going to be played out in a courtroom if you ever get there, because in today's day and age, I would argue that someone like Karmelo Anthony now has a heightened concern over the past few years and the way we've sort of degraded some of the progress we may have thought we made over the past decade, as far as how we're treating young black males in the system, such that maybe he would have felt more preyed upon than he otherwise would. Interesting, you're right. We're going to be talking about this for a long time.
Professor, what do you got?
Hello? Oh, I'm
Professor?
sorry.
Yeah, Professor.
This is all about who the jury is. This will all be determined by the jury. If the racial factors were reversed, if a white man had killed an unarmed black man, everybody would be on the reverse side of this. We live in a society where everything is judged by race. You know, the Bible says to judges and prosecutors, don't recognize people, just do abstract justice. We're way, way, way beyond that. If the racial elements were reversed there, virtually all the people who are calling for him to be acquitted would be calling for him to be convicted, and vice versa. Let's not kid ourselves. We live in a race.
That's the truth. That's exactly what I said. If it was the other way around, they'll be saying Austin Metcalf acted in self-defense.
Facts.
Salute to my brother Key Norfolk. Thanks for joining, brother. Salute to you.
Hey, salutes, good brother, and salutes to my brother T Wriggle. Salutes to the chat. Peace and power to everybody, man. Much love and respect.
Peace and power. And this shows their basic and their ongoing biases and their hypocrisy, because they will be in support of Austin Metcalf if Karmelo Anthony was the victim. In reality, he was the victim, but he was a victim who fought back. That's all.
Yeah. And I respect the two gentlemen for saying this is what it is, guys. You know, we're in a society where, you know, race is an issue for sure. And I agree with what they're saying. Like, hey, it's in a form of self-defense here. He wasn't the aggressor. He was nowhere. Karmelo was nowhere near the aggressor. The response might be aggressive.
See, I don't
right?
like that. I don't like the title. The title is not consistent with what the gentleman's saying, because they're saying, did race play a role in Metcalf's death? No, it didn't. His aggression played a role in his death. Karmelo didn't kill him because he was a big ass white boy. He killed him because he put his hands on it, and he didn't intend to do it. That wasn't premeditated. He didn't go there to do that.
Right.
It was because all you have to do is say, okay, if Austin Metcalf and his brother never approached Carmelo Anthony, what this incident would have happened? And the answer
No.
is no. The answer is no. He wouldn't have walked up to them randomly and just stabbed that young man for nothing. No, he wouldn't have did that.
Conscious society and jury selection, which of course your other guest is so brilliant at and did so well in the Zimmerman case, is determine the outcome of this case without a doubt.
For me, it's as simple as, how do they feel about this proposition? Bringing a knife to a fist fight.
Right.
Mark O'Mara, we'll see what happens. Alan Dershowitz, thank you very much.
They go with that knife nonsense again. And not only that, bro, they mentioned bringing a knife to a fist fight. People have brought more than a knife to a fist fight. I've seen grown men get punched in the face and pull out a gun and shoot somebody dead. Grown men, who were afraid to ball their fist up. The first thing, and they was the initial aggressor, starting. The same thing that dude Chud was doing, that's what they do. They'll go around starting trouble. Then as soon as somebody put their foot in their behind, they go into their waistband. But they won't go nowhere where they carry. They won't go nowhere where they can't carry.
I totally agree with you. I'm in a area situation to where I'm from, we don't have anybody who can get into it on a man-to-man type level. It always gonna turn into death situation to where it just be really like a man-to-man situation to where if y'all two have to put hands on each other or whatever, that's just, not to really promote any type of violence or anything like that. It's just sometimes men gonna grapple. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to some man to man, but that don't never mean that nobody should lose their life. Just because two men being two men, you can't out scream another man. And if you say something, then you need to be about what you talk about. So if we just end up scuffling, then we just end up scuffling. But my back hurting and my head hurting and my arm being messed up shouldn't equivalent to one of us having to lose our lives. And that's where I'm at with it, brother.
That's how I'm with it too. It's a tragedy that was caused by the young man being a bully. Just mind your. I've been saying it all stream. Just mind your business. The boy wasn't bothering you. You're a lot bigger than him, and you knew you were a lot bigger than him, and more than likely knew that the young man was afraid of you. So why would you bother? Why would you try to bully somebody that's afraid of you? I've always hated bullies, man. I never liked bullies, man.
Yeah. Me either, man.
I never liked bullies, man.
It's just with this situation, I feel like this situation was such a racial pin on a cushion. So it turned this to whole backdrop of this to being a pin cushion to where a pin could be stuck into this to where that pin could be a certain mode or a certain energy that was pressed down for everybody to partake with this situation, because this ain't the only situation. And when we look at miscommunication, we got to also think how many other of these situations have been put in the forefront. Like, we got to think about people who getting these what they call it when they start raising this money for these victims who've been in these situations and stuff like that.
Fundraisers,
GoFundMes and stuff, like, So this is a whole psyop type of thing. So, I really don't have too much to say about the exact situation because I feel like, and please excuse my language, I feel like it's a fuck situation. You understand what I'm saying? You know how I call a F naga? You know what I'm saying? So a F naga is a person who do F'd up stuff. I feel like this a F situation to where it's just gonna cause people to get caught up in it, to be on some bull crap. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like this situation is too out of range for us to really take a personal stance on it, because it's already been projected as being a whore. You understand what I'm saying? This
Well,
situation ain't
that's the way they spin it.
yeah, yeah.
That's the way they spin it. That's the way they spin it. And
That's the way they spin it.
That's most case scenario, beloved. That's most case
I
scenario.
can't make a baby. I can't make a baby with this situation because it's already a whore. You understand what I'm saying? So even though, cause it's like the young brother could have had more restraint in the situation, although he was just defending himself. At the same time that I live in this system, I don't want to tell my son to do something that's gonna cause him to be in prison, and
No.
he got to try to stay
Hell no.
clean in the situation. Even though I'm gonna help him, I don't want him to go out and do something that's gonna scar him. So now I gotta take myself out of context. I'm gonna say I'm not gonna do nothing that's gonna harm me. I'm gonna be the bigger person. But then I'm gonna turn around and tell my son, when a white boy come to you, kill him. You understand what I'm saying?
That would be totally stupid to tell your child that.
This is dumb. This is dumb.
That would
See what
be
I'm saying?
dumb to tell your child that. You
So
tell
it's
your
like a
child
blind leading the blind.
You tell your child to defend yourself if you have to, but you also tell your child that, you know what I'm saying, you can walk away.
You can walk away.
Walk away from foolishness, and don't get yourself involved and trapped in no foolishness. You can tell your child that, but at the same time, you tell your child to defend themselves if they have to, and only if they have to.
Only if you have to. If somebody put their hands on you,
a
or
white
your
boy
people,
approach you and you just kill him. No, that's stupid to teach your child.
yeah. If a white, if a person of color, if a white boy, anybody is
approach you,
true
kill
for
him.
your
That's stupid.
personal space, then you defend yourself. It's certain tactics like we was talking about last week, and shout out to Chief Eagle Eye. You know, somebody can reach, and you know this, brother Nasir. I know this because I know hand-to-hand combat. I was trained in hand-to-hand combat. I was trained in boxing, kickboxing, MMA, all style fighting. So when it comes to hand-to-hand combat and defending your personal space, somebody can stick their hand out to you and you can break their wrist if you want to. If I pop you from the back of your wrist, I can break your wrist when you stick your hand out to me.
Once that hands extended and it's committed, it's so many
it's over with.
So many things I could do.
So many things I could do.
So many things I could do, but I would rather not, have to do
not
that.
Engage.
I would rather not have to do that.
Have a higher mind to not engage and already foresee the situation that's going to happen, so that we can push past it.
But when you don't have no choice, when it comes to when you don't have no choice but to defend yourself, you just got to do it. You just got to do it because you end up harmed or worse because you didn't do it, because you don't think a person is that damn, evil and vindictive. It's been so many times that some of us lost our lives because we didn't think this person would do that, and they end up doing it. No, when it comes down to it, and when you know emphatically that somebody's going to do you harm, you got to do what you got to do then.
I got a situation like that just took place with someone else and not even me. Like somebody saw a firearm present. They gave it to the person took the firearm, and then the person started tripping with the firearm, and then they had to defend themselves. So, I mean, this is what my personal testimony is. See, instead of me being the bigger person, I chose to put myself around bigger people. So I ain't got to worry about being the bigger person. You understand what I'm saying? I can always
with you, brother. You gotta have that person to try to prevent you from jumping, brother.
That's right.
Because if it's really worth jumping, that person gonna jump with you. If it's really worth it, but that person's trying to talk you out. I had a brother tell me, brother, we gotta jump. We gonna jump together. If it gotta be done, let's do it.
That's
But
right. And there's no reason that
at the
you
same
gonna
time,
come
trying to
with
talk
me.
me out of it. If we really got to do it, let's go. But is it a
You
way
ain't
I
gonna
can talk
never
you out of
come. You ain't gonna never come with me. And then I'll be like, man, Brother Nasir came to see me, man, and he got beat real bad. Like, I'm gonna be telling the person, Brother Nasir came to see me, and we got beat real bad. Cause if it happened to you, it's gonna happen to me.
it? Yes, sir.
See what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And you know what? This case kind of makes me have this same analogy. You know how, like, when someone will say, if someone disrespects you, your disrespect back, it could be larger, it could be smaller. Do you know what I mean? Like, there isn't a wage or a gauge on how much I disrespect you back. Do you know what I mean? So it's almost, to me, this case is like part of the same claw thing away. This is what I'm feeling. But I can't wait till this case starts, because I need to know all of the evidence so we can all pass judgment
Well, we're gonna
on this
cover it,
case.
brother.
Because
We're going to cover it. We're going to cover it. When
oh
they
yeah,
start, we're gonna start.
yeah.
But if I know a person is disrespectful, I'm staying clear of them. That's why I tell people, I say it all the time. Men shouldn't disrespect men because somebody can get hurt. Somebody can get hurt or worse. So if I know people who behave like that, I'm not going around them. I can't go around them because of how I was taught. I was taught that you don't play with men and you don't allow men to play with you. That's how I was taught. That's been the creed. That's been the decree all my life. That's what I've seen all my life. So if I know a person is disrespectful like that, I stay clear of them. That's it. Just stay clear of that person. Don't allow that person around you, and you don't go around that type of people. That's it. That keeps you from having to engage that person. Because if they'll do it to anybody else, they'll do it to you. A disrespectful person is disrespectful to everybody.
Yeah. And some of the
and you don't want to have to do something that you may regret. Because it takes you seconds to get yourself in years of trouble. Seconds.
Yeah.
Get yourself in years of trouble. Now you sitting in the county and you looking like, dang, I could have walked away. I could have walked away.
Yeah. And this is some of the mindset that's out here in LA, right? With some of my old ex-friends I used to hang out with. And one of the philosophies was that, if we're going to start something, which sometimes they would, or be on the self-defense side, either or, the mindset is, okay, between men now, like, how far are you willing to go with this? Because, and with this standpoint over here, and I felt that, and I understood it. Like I'm going to go all the way here. Whatever all the way is, that's where we're all going. You know what I mean? And that's the mindset here. And I sometimes I conflict with myself with that, because it makes sense in a way, right?
I'll say it
But
like this, bro. If it's not defending my family, brother, I ain't going, bro. And I'm questioning some of them. The ones I know that get into bullshit,
Right.
I may not move for them, bro. I may not move for them. The ones who get into bullshit all the time, I may not move for them.
For me to move, it gotta be for me myself. Like, if I know somebody looking for me, then shit, I ain't finna go to sleep. I'm gonna go on look for them.
I'm gonna look for them. If I know you're looking for me.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if you looking for me, then why would I go to sleep if you looking for me? I'm gonna go on get it out the way. We ain't gotta wait till tomorrow for what we can do today. Like, so you gotta keep your mouth shut. And then 9 times out of 10, a lot of people today just be talking or want to make things look a certain type of way. So this is what I tell my child. It's a lot of things that I got to work on this. A lot of things that I may say, I may not actually do, but I'm telling somebody else who is not in the thick of it as me to try to take it as, what they got it. Like, look, you got it a lot lighter. So don't do as I do, do as I say. And people have a problem with that, but that totally applies. You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, if you don't want if you don't want someone you love to go through what you've gone through, of course you're gonna tell them to do as I say, not as I do, because you're trying to protect them.
Facts.
Just the way you can protect your loved one, to tell them nah. Because I've had people who pushed me away because of what they was into. Didn't want me involved in it, so they pushed me away. I've had that before, and I understood it based on the outcome. Okay, that's why he pushed me away, because he didn't want me involved in that. And you got to be that way.
Right.
Yeah. Oh. Let me ask Key. Hey, so Key, do you think, right? Because I don't know how long you were listening for, right? Right. If Karmelo was convicted guilty, do you think Karmelo should get a life sentence?
So the dude is no longer here with us, right? The dude that that it happened with, right?
Say that again, brother.
Yeah.
Is the dude no longer here with us?
Austin Metcalf?
The young man
Yeah,
passed away.
yeah.
Metcalf passed away. Yeah, he passed away.
Okay, now I'm gonna say this: if we can find that, he was wrongfully intruded upon, then I feel like, he should be let go of everything and he should come home today. But if we feel that he actually intruded upon these people, then I feel like, he should have a lengthy sentence. And I'm not saying that in no type of way or none of that. I'm just saying it's circumstantial. If he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do, then he need to get what he didn't want to get. But if he was doing what he was supposed to do, then he should be, let free. That's what I feel.
It
Just
was
to be just and straight up.
It was established that Austin Metcalf and his twin brother came up and told the young man to get from under the tent. And he said no. And they said, if you don't, I'm gonna do such and such. And then he said, touch me and see what happens. Don't touch me. Put your hands on me.
Okay, I gotta ask this though. So if it was established as that, then why haven't the judicial system did anything? See, we gotta get off of each other. Oh yeah, but we gotta get off of each other and stop questioning each other, and then we need to be getting together and we need to be strictly question that judicial system that did not give this man a pass. It shouldn't be no question for Key. We shouldn't even be talking about this. All we should be doing was getting each other together with like-minded men and individuals, and we need to be going straight to the judicial system saying, why didn't at this point, when y'all know this man didn't cause this, that's the only way it's gonna happen.
Now, I'm gonna ask you this, brother. If it was the other way around, based on the history of what goes on, how things happen here in the United States, do you think Megyn Kelly and all these people saying that Karmelo Anthony didn't act in self-defense, if Karmelo Anthony was the one in his grave and Austin Metcalf did that to him, would they be saying self-defense?
No, they would. No, but look, though, I want to say this. I want to make this clear. Regardless of whether it was self-defense or not, I still feel like the white boys was all the way in the wrong in the first place, because they got since they got seniority or they got
That's not what I'm
racial
asking, bro, brother.
seniority.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking if it was the other way around, based on how things have been going. Because every time one of them do something and say they fear for
Oh
their
yeah,
life,
they would have said. Yeah, they would have said it was self-defense. If Carmelo Anthony was no longer here with us, and if those brothers did it, then they would have said it because we in a racially
exactly.
infused society.
That's what
So
these
it's
gentlemen.
racism on our side and it's racism on their side as well. But
That's
it
what
don't
these gentlemen
matter.
are saying right here. That's what these gentlemen are saying. It's the racial component of the case we
Mhm.
live in society. Everything, every time you turn around, things are based on race. America's
Right.
jurisprudence just can't. They just can't do away
So
with
so
that. They just do
so
stuff
so
like
really to break down what I'm saying, there's not gonna be a genuine effort put into seeing whether who was right or who was wrong. It's
they're not
always gonna
seeking
be
justice.
racially infused.
They're not seeking justice, bro. Because if
No,
they were
no one's
seeking
seeking
justice,
justice.
if they were seeking justice, it'd be the same way, no matter
Right.
who did it. You know what I'm saying? It would
No
be the
matter
same
who
way.
did it. That's right. I'm
If
with
if
you on that,
if they
100%.
see if they would have seen Austin Metcalf as someone who was defending himself, when it happens with one of us, it should be the same exact way. Because how many times that I asked it earlier, how many times that we seen some of them start shit, and then soon as the fight start, they use deadly force. When somebody's using their hands, because standing your ground is not escalating. Standing your ground is using equal force. Equal force.
Right.
If somebody's fist feeding you, if you can't fight, don't start a fight. Don't start a
That's
fight if you
right.
can't fight. But if
And
you
that's why I
start a
was
fight,
saying.
if you were disrespecting somebody's wife, say you disrespected somebody's wife, and her husband checked you, and you only doing it because you got your gun. You only chest out because you got your gun. You wouldn't normally do it.
See, this is normal activity where I'm from. So a lot of people will say, Key, you're speaking on stuff that's not going on in the rest of the country. That don't matter. It's going on where I'm from. So just because it's not going on where you from, that means it's not happening.
Well,
This
that's
is
your
the issue.
society, bro. That's your society. So you got to speak on your society where you at.
Right. Right.
I mean, you can't speak about
Right.
what goes on in Jersey, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
exactly.
That's your
That's exactly
reality,
right.
bro.
That's
That's your
exactly right.
reality.
So what's going on where I'm at? Austin Metcalf, where I'm at. He in the South.
He in
So we
Texas.
talking about what's going on in the South. So what's going on in the South is what's going on what I'm talking about. See what I'm saying? It ain't what's going on in the rest of the country. So a lot of people can have a lot of say, well, I think this, I think that, or whatever, but are you aware of the atmosphere? Can you smell what the rock is cooking? Basically. You understand what
Well,
I'm
I
saying?
can't speak on what goes on in Texas, bro. I can't because I'm not in Texas. You know what I'm saying? I can't speak on that. Only thing I could do is say what the law is, but what the law is not necessarily what they go by. You
No,
know what I'm
that
saying?
ain't what they go by. They go
You know
by
what I'm
what's
saying? So
going on in Texas. That's what they go on. It's sad to say because we get try. It's so many people who locked up injustly because of the social constraint of the situation. The social constraint of the situation is what takes the stronghold with. So that's why when you bring in a trial by jury partakes the situation on a moralistic value, the moralistic of the atmosphere or the geographical moral atmosphere is what's being taken upon when it comes to a court system. Because if we did it legally the way we were supposed to do, then we'll beat it. But then when a person go to trial, you bring in the moral aspects of the people from that area. You know, what are they morally inclined with? So that's what's being set up for judgment rather than what's truly right or wrong.
can you imagine a jurisprudence where 80% of the people, 80% of over 2 million people in prison in the United States. 2 million people. 80% of them took plea deals because of the faith or the lack of thereof they have in this system. That's based on them saying, I can't win because I've seen people, you know what I'm saying? And then a court-appointed lawyer is working for the state, bro.
That's right. You know, when I went away to college, you know, when I went to
Higher
college,
learning, brother. Higher learning, brother.
yeah, when I got that higher learner, you know, I actually pleaded out because I didn't feel like I can win. Whether I was guilty or not guilty wasn't my decision for taking my plea. My decision for taking my plea was because I saw more people and tied into the case than the people who look like me. That's why I took my plea. You know what I'm saying? But this is
Yes, sir.
something that we got to deal with today. So that's why my sentiments are with Karmelo Anthony. But at the same time, I don't want to teach my sons any type of reckless behavior because we in a time right now to where the minds are being pulled towards being evil or good, and then evil and good is being combined into one. So people don't really know what evil and good is. If it feel good to you, or if it makes sense to you, that mean it's good. That ain't what mean was good. Good is good and bad is bad. Whether it makes sense or works out for you or not. You understand what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Yes, sir. I would rather tell my loved ones to stay away from certain people to avoid those type of situations. I would rather tell them instead of having them going through these litigations, I'd rather tell them to stay away from certain people. Anybody that make you uncomfortable and uneasy, don't be around them.
I'm with you on that
Don't be
100%. That's what I do. Just stay away from it.
Just stay away from certain people. People that make you uneasy, that's not your type of people to be around. Stay away from them. That's it. That way you can avoid that. Now sometimes stuff comes, situation arises, and then you gotta deal with it. But you deal with it accordingly. If things are preventable, prevent it. That's it. You only do something if you have to. That's it. Because it would be very irresponsible if somebody said, well, anybody come up to you or say anything to you, punch them in the face. That's irresponsible, bro.
Facts.
That's irresponsible.
That's a fact. That's a fact, man.
Like you know what I always say, bro. I can promise you I won't start it. That's it.
Right. I can
That's
promise
it.
you I ain't gonna start it. That's
I'm not
all I
gonna
can
start
promise.
it. That's all I can promise you. I'm not gonna say it's not gonna be nothing, but I tell you one thing, I'm not gonna be the one that started.
Right.
That's all I can give.
That's a fact.
And,
Yeah, so I don't know if that answered your question.
You can't be more fair. Yeah, you answered it perfect, brother. But you can't be more fair than that, though. I'm not going to start it. If you say you're not going to start, and I say I'm not going to start, guess what? Not going to be.
It shouldn't be nothing.
Not going to be nothing.
Shouldn't be nothing.
And see, that's where my confusion lies, where we do have this race element, and apparently we have, just because you live in New York or Florida, Texas, Arkansas, Cali, the rules and the law is different for where you're at. I that's where I'm confused about, as in a broad spectrum. I understand what we're talking about here, what everyone's presenting, but when I look at it as a whole, it doesn't make sense. If you did self-defense in New York, Florida, it should be the same self-defense all across the board. If you premeditated and did something and murdered someone, it doesn't matter where you're at. It should be the same across the whole spectrum. And that's where, my confusion lies about this law we have here in this society. It's not, well, per se, it's not balanced at all. It is the lady with the blindfold and the scales are tilted. this is what we're all experiencing right now. I feel.
Ab auto KO, brother. Ab auto KO. Order out of chaos. Because if this was the United States, state law couldn't supersede what the Constitution is. But states have their own laws, and then you have the Constitution and you have the federal laws. You know what I'm saying? If federal laws should be the law of all the land, if this is indeed the United States, it lets you know, bro, that's a sham itself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How are you going to have? Okay, take the gun laws for example. You know what I'm saying? Arkansas, you can carry guns. Texas, you can carry guns. Georgia, you can carry guns. Michigan, you can carry guns. But in New York and New Jersey, you can't.
Yeah.
Can't. But in Pennsylvania, that's an open carry state. Pennsylvania. But guess what? All except Philadelphia. And that's in Pennsylvania too.
That's wild.
You know what I'm saying? You can carry guns. That's an open carry state everywhere except Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's
New
wild.
Jersey is a concealed carry state. State concealed carry. And they give you so much. They give you so much of a hard time getting your carrier's permit in New Jersey. They give you a hard time getting a permit. They give you a hard time getting a purchase permit in New Jersey. And to me, a concealed carry is really a setup, because the minute a cop see the bulge in your shirt, he gonna draw down on you. In Boston, I seen a video the other day in Boston. The brother had an open carry permit. The cop walked past and seen the brother's pistol on him and drew down on him, took his pistol, called back up. After the brother presented his card to him, did all that, still did all that, because it was a brother with a gun, and he had a permit, open carry, the license. They surrounded him and they checked his credential, which is really against the law. Once somebody present that permit, and you see that permit is current, anything you do further is violating this man's Second Amendment right. Anything. So I don't know if the brother's taking him to court, but he should be in litigations with the Boston Police Department, because they wasn't supposed to touch him. Once he pulled that credential out and showed them that, the cop's supposed to move on. And how the cop left him, he apologized and said, you don't walk around like that. You can't tell that man don't walk around like that when he got the right to.
Right.
He told the man, don't walk around like that. You don't need to walk around like that. What makes you think you can walk around like that and he can't? Because that badge? No, that man has a carrier's permit, a open carrier's permit, which is, if the state gave it to him, nobody could take it away from him. The state of Massachusetts said he can carry. So who of anybody else to say he can't?
And you know what? Look, I just had a thought, right, where we were saying how, in this Karmelo case, what happens if the roles were reversed? Okay, so now look, we have a case that the roles are reversed. It's this Chud case. Now, instead of the pushing, right, or right, the push, the aggression slur is the aggression, right? Because you know how even some women will throw some words at you. These are verbal, physical slaps. These are verbally word slaps at a person. So we have Chud saying all of these verbal attacks to a brother, and then the brother socks him, and then Chud shoots him. So now look, both bails were at $1 million, right? One got reduced. So we're going to see how this court system operates with these two cases, because they're very similar. You know,
they're very similar, except one is a 17-year-old, and that dude Chud is a grown-ass man. And
facts.
When you're walking around calling people nigga, trying to incite some violence, I mean, because for one, he can get locked up for saying nigga, because anything that's considered fighting words is a disorderly conduct. Disorderly conduct is fighting words. I'll fuck you up. That's disorderly. They can lock you up for that. And it's a threat. But to call somebody nigga, that's fighting words, and that's against the law. Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech
almost like
is
hate
one
crime.
thing, but you can't say fighting words, and it's a hate crime because it's a racial epithet.
It's a racial slur.
It's a racial slur. You can't do that. You can't call nobody monkey or nigga, talking about you chimping out. That is fighting words, and fighting words is unlawful. You can't say fighting words to people. You can't. It's against the law.
And that's funny because
everywhere that's against the law.
And hearing, right, because the Chud thing. Look, I'm telling you, this case is very similar. And then having seeing the conversation between academics and Fresh and Fit, Myron, right? And there were some others that showed that
Moron. His name's
Moron, right? That Moron was saying, no, you shouldn't let words affect me. But then on a previous video, they're showing Myron saying, hey, look, if you say that Muslim word to me, I'm swinging on you right now. So it's just like, whoa.
Because he don't care about nobody else's racial epithet or nobody else's racial slurs. People using racial slurs toward anybody else except those damn Somalians.
Hey man, look, I'm sorry to switch the topic because not to switch it, but I got really bothered and offended by this establishment today, Brother Nasir. I really got offended because it's like, wait a minute, when you have a civilian, just a regular dude doing his own research in Nick Shirley doing his own research on things, and then now the establishment where you have all the resources, you have all the tools, you have everything that you can possibly need to catch people that are going breaking the law, but then it has to take a regular dude to bring out what the hell's going on, like the incompetence, the incompetence of the system, and it's basically saying that you guys aren't even doing your job in busting crime. But when it comes down to the court system here, you know everything about it. And when you said that the 2 million and the 80% of people taking plea deals, because it's color driven.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, we already it's already engraved, installed in brothers that, listen, man, we're not going to get a fair trial, no matter if I'm innocent.
That's true, because they're not interested in justice, brother. Richard Pryor said it. I think Paul Mooney wrote the joke. If you go down there looking for justice, that's what you'll find. Just us.
Man, facts.
That's what you'll find.
Facts.
And they're not interested in justice. And guess what? If you take a plea, your sentence is a little lenient, and they only penalize you because you're fighting them. If you fight them, you get more time if you're found guilty, as opposed to pleading.
That makes no sense whatsoever to me.
And they don't care if you're innocent. They don't care. They want, and it's a game with the lives of people, because a prosecutor, when they present the case to the court. It's the state of, for example, the people of the state of New Jersey against whoever the defendant is. And the prosecutor is supposed to be working for the people and on behalf of the people. But the prosecutor they want to win their case. And the defense attorney wants to win his case. And both of them would lie to win. Because I've seen, especially when defense attorney defend cops, they'll lie in a heartbeat when they defend the cops. They will lie.
Yeah, facts, Brother Nasir. And I just for the record, to Brother Nasir, I want to look. Shouts out to all the upright judges that are,
That's a little small minority, a little small.
Yeah.
Minority.
It's small, but shouts out to them. You know what I mean? They don't get enough credit. And we'll never hear these judges' names. Do you know what I mean? Because of what's going on. Do you know what I mean? And shouts out to them. And it's sad that we have a system that is like this, and we have to endure. I don't think it's got to change. This has to change, because I'm always going to mention this, and thank you, Alabama. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for giving me that information, because in 1951, the genocide, you know what I mean, where I want to use it with a capital G here, the genocide of the brothers that are happening in America to this day, okay, is the reason why a lot of the as Keith Northwood would just said, like, pardon my friends here, but all the fuckery going on, you know what I mean? Like this, when does this end?
They're not going to end it because they benefit from it. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to end it. It takes those who are victims of it to end it. You know what I'm saying? Salute to my brother P. Moses. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It has to be destroyed, because the system is a well-oiled machine that's running according to how it was designed. So in order for us to, not fall a victim to it, it has to be destroyed.
Yeah.
I want to say, oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
You know what's funny? That in South America, right? So in somewhere, I don't know if it was Peru or Ecuador, it's one of these villages or towns, right? Whenever they have a discrepancy or something bad is going on, or someone doesn't like someone or the other, look, they all gather together, they make a circle, and then the two people that have the problem, hey, they fight it out. I'm not saying that's what we should do, but I thought that was pretty good. They fight it out, and then they become friends after.
I think if people just say, I challenge you to a game of Connect 4, and then the winner.
Damn, I kind of lost my frame of thought, man. But maybe it'll come back to me, maybe it won't. But I want to appreciate you for allowing me up, man. I kind of want to. I lost my train of thought, man. My voice is gonna be real scarce here in a minute, man. I'm working on some things, and you know what I'm saying. I just did want to come up because you shot it to me. We should touch base beforehand, but I appreciate that I got the opportunity to come up. But it was something I really wanted to say, man. But it'll come back to me.
About the case? About Karmelo Anthony?
Nah, I'm not sure what it was. It just randomly came, but it is what it is, man. And but it's nothing but love, man, for y'all brothers. I did just want to come up and touch base with y'all brothers, man. And I appreciate everything that you do with the channel. Good brother, YouTube, brother T Wriggles, man. I will be back. I'll be on my channel tomorrow. But yeah, man, we got to keep the fight going. So I'm gonna kind of compact a lot of things, man, and get ready to get busy. But I do appreciate being able to be here with y'all two brothers tonight, man. Salutes to y'all.
Salute to you for coming through. Salute to my brother T. Riggles for coming through. I'm about to land this plane right now anyway because it's 11:30 and it's way past my bedtime. You know that. So about to end
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, peace and power, good brother. I
Before
just got in.
having
I haven't got to settle yet, but this was a very I like the way that you took the topic of conversation so that we can take more insight into it.
Yes, sir.
I'm kind of trying to remember what I had to say, but I'm just gonna say something just to leave with. If we can do better, then we can see better. You know what I mean? So if we can just like miss all of these situations that we're seeing, so we don't have to be in these type of situations. We see the way that the world working, and we can understand that all of our skin folks ain't our kin folks either. So
Yes.
this ain't gotta be no white with no blue eyes and no blonde hair or no red hair or green eyes. Like, this could also be a person that look like us that get us in these situations. So I don't want that to go over everybody's head either. It's just everybody who on the side of right and everybody who on the side of wrong. And with that being said, salutes to you, brother. Salutes to the channel. Peace and power to you and the family. Much love and respect.
Peace and power to you. Much love and respect. And I thank you for coming through, brother. I thank my brother T. Riggles for coming through. P. Moses, D. Allen Warren, Big Dog Philly OG. Today, Can You Dig It? Keith Lamont. Let me see who else. Everybody did make a comment. More than that came through, but everybody did make a comment. But I want to thank everybody for coming through. I appreciate you. Thank the missus. Gotta thank the missus because she's always listening and watching. But brother, we're gonna the trial starts on June 1st, and we're gonna cover it day by day as it's going on, giving updates of what's going on with the Karmelo Anthony trial. It's beginning June 1st, and we're gonna bring it to the people, and we're gonna give a updates and by each report, and we're going to give our narratives, and we're going to go with the evidence that's shown. That's all we can do. That's all we can do.
That's all we can do. That's all we can do. And thank you again, Brother Nasir, for having me on, man. This is I learned, you're teaching me, how this system works,
Yes,
and
sir.
I'm very grateful for that, and I'm grateful for the chat. I'm grateful for your wife too. You know what I mean? She's listening. Hi, how we doing? And like I said earlier, to everyone listening, man, I'm proud of y'all. You know what I mean? We don't react emotionally. It shows the maturity we have. It shows the intelligence we have, that we're not acting animalistic to the injustice that we're seeing. We're standing very bold, very tough, expressing our feelings. And then after this case, we can really pass judgment on what the hell is going on. And I'm just proud of everyone here. And thank you again, Brother Nasir. It's an honor.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. And I forgot to thank my brother Keith Lamont also. Thank you for coming through, God. I thank you, brother, for coming through, and your continued support on the streams and your continued participation on the streams and your contribution to the streams. I thank my brother Key Norfolk for his contribution to the streams. Greatly appreciate it. And until next time, this is your brother Nasir. This is the enemy's public. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. And I leave you as I came before you in the greeting words of peace.
Production. Giving out instruction. I just keep it intact, this is a fact, right and exact, I won't step back. Admiration is the feeling that inspires your brain to make you gain self-knowledge, not go insane.